All right, it is right at the bottom of the hour when our presentation is scheduled to start. Welcome to today's presentation. We are TimeSolv, and today we're going to be talking about getting paid faster and achieving zero AR, which I think all of us can agree is pretty important. So let's talk about how we can make that happen, specifically with TimeSolv, which is such an incredible tool. It's remarkably powerful, especially given the cost of it. If you look at TimeSolv as a solution and compare it to other solutions in the market, it's very frequently at less than half the cost, but it provides you with a tremendous number of the core functionality that you need to get paid and to provide the level of service to your clients that is necessary. So let's talk about me for a minute. My name's Joyce Bradford. I'm an attorney licensed in North Carolina, and I've worked in legal tech since 2011. Ask me about Girl Scout cookies. I'd love to talk about them. So let's talk about, let's just pop right into this. We don't really need to talk about any of the mistakes that you're going to be making. We'll cover everything as we get through today's presentation, and I will do my best to keep this at 30 minutes or less because I know you have work for clients that needs to be done. All right, so let's talk about consultations. This is where folks tend to make a lot of mistakes right off the bat, and it can be a real challenge. I want to make sure that you are thinking of consultations as a way to get to know your clients, but that they should be free only if a potential client becomes an actual paying client. Consultations should never be offered as free and as unconditional. Offering your services for free is a great way to advertise that you don't think that you are worth the amount of time, the amount of money that you charge either per hour or per task, activity, document, whatever it happens to be that you are creating for a client. And I never want you to be in that position. Thinking about the relationship that you're setting up, advertising that your services are free is not a great way to tell people that they need to pay you. So offer consultations for free if someone becomes a client. Otherwise, there is a consultation fee, and you're going to waive that consultation fee if they do become a client with you. But phrase it that way. There's a consultation fee that will waive if you become a client of ours. All right, and let's talk about fee agreements. Fee agreements can be complicated, and I want to just make sure that in our case, when we are really trying to get paid faster and get to that zero accounts receivable where we have absolutely nothing in collections, where when we bill a client pays us. That's what we want. We're never going to achieve that if someone is unsure about when or how much or the consequences of not paying, right? They need to know what they're going to be charged. They need to know when they're going to be charged. They need to know what they're paying for, right? So invoices should nearly never be done in a one-off manner, and run invoices together in a batch. And with that, you're going to tell your clients, we're going to notify you on the 5th of the month that we are going to charge your credit card on the 15th of this month in the amount that we've agreed to. And that might be a specific amount that's related to that specific invoice, or it might be a flat fee agreement that you set. Either way, you can set those up in TimeSolv. You can send those notifications. You can collect on those invoices in a routine manner, and that needs to be in your fee agreement, so it's an expected outcome for the client. Use dedicated time on your calendar to review your pre-billed work and then send your invoices out in a single batch, right? Your time, you will review all of your invoices. Please, after your invoices are sent, after that notification that you're going to be charging the credit card that you have on file for your client, you need to allow time for your clients to respond to you. You'll send them a notification on the 5th. They will bill on the 15th. They need to notify you between that time frame if they need to make adjustments. If they have any concerns or questions about what is on that invoice, in case you need to make any adjustments on your side, that of course you'll make within your professional discretion. But don't make the assumption that just because you send out an invoice, a client's going to be happy with it. It's not always the case, and you do need some time on the second half of this billing cycle, after you send out the notification of payments to be processed, that you have time to respond back to your clients and to look through those agreements again, not the agreements, the invoices again, before something is actually billed. You might not have questions, maybe you don't need to dedicate that time, but always have it there just in case. Invoices should always be digital first. Even if someone wants paper bills as part of your fee agreement, you'll say, I'm going to send you an invoice this way, and I'm going to charge the payment method that you have on file. If they need to be sent a paper document in addition to that, that's fine. But you need to have everyone in your firm, everyone who you are billing, on the same routine, at least for that initial notification that payment will be processed on whatever date you choose to process payments. I keep saying the 15th. That's not a required date, quite obviously. But send those digital statements to absolutely everyone. And every single invoice you send, if it's in digital format, needs to include a link for those payment options. So you need to, of course, have integrated payments turned on, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But you need to have that integrated payment turned on. There needs to be a link so someone can go ahead when they get the invoice, say, I'm going to pay this right now if I choose to pay it right now, or they'll have that credit card payment on file, that credit card number on file with you in TimeSolv. Right? Either way, you need to make sure that you're going to get paid. Very quickly, I would like to note that if you have that payment link and you charge on a regular period, please make sure that you are using an integrated payment solution. The last thing you want is to accidentally double bill your client. So when payments are run, you need to have a system that recognizes internally, without reconciliation from you, if a payment from a client has been made. Okay, so make sure you're using an integrated solution. And again, we'll get to that integrated solution in TimeSolv in just a moment. All right, so getting clients to pay you and getting to 0 AR. Clients should always know exactly what to expect. You need to have regular communication. They are going to be happier with you as they approach critical events in representation. They're going to be, they'll know that you're working for them. They'll be happier to accept a payment request from you and to pay that request. And secondly, if they have a clear understanding of what they are being billed for, and you have been speaking with them or emailing them, they know you're working for them, they understand that you're doing work, and they're not going to try to claw back a credit card payment. They're not going to try to dispute a charge. They'll know that you're working for them. So you want to get to that 0 AR. You want to avoid client disputes. You want your clients to be happy to pay you on time. Talk to them, especially as they get closer to critical events and representation. All right. Get to 0 AR. It's practically impossible to do unless you have a commitment to eliminate paper. Please make sure that you email your clients all of their important documents, or you send them a link to a client portal with all of their important documents. You need to be sure that you have given them what they need and they have given to you what you need, all of the documentation that's necessary in digital form. You need to send your invoices through a digital system. TimeSolv will automate this for you. You can send everything out. TimeSolv will get it to your clients. It's just a matter of a couple of clicks, but that needs to be the way you do this. You do not need to print out invoices to physically sign them. It's just not necessary. I know it feels very personal. I know it's wonderful to have a lovely pin with that beautiful filigreed nib on the end. I love a good pin as much as anyone, but we need to get away from it as lawyers. There are some times when a signature is lovely, but for almost everything that we do, digital should be the way we manage it, because it gives you an automated trail. I want to know when my clients open an invoice. I want to know when my clients pay an invoice. I want to know that all of my time that I've tracked is reflected there on that invoice. I don't need paper for any of that. And I'm not going to have a strong system if what I am doing is in paper versus online, right? So let's think about that, right? Let's talk about the true elimination of paper specifically with TimeSolv. When you are in the TimeSolv program, no matter where you are in the system, you have the ability to track your time. And that is crucial. So let's come down here. You know what? I'm going to come back up to eliminating paper. Pardon me for this, because I really want to hit this very, very hard. And I want to just take a moment and take a breath and think about TimeSolv as a solution. TimeSolv offers an online portal where you log in through a web browser. They also offer a downloadable solution that can live on your PC. Okay. You do not need to be connected to the internet. You do not need to have advanced knowledge of legal technology. You do not need to be some type of, technology expert in order to make TimeSolv work. It is as simple as opening a timer, assigning time to a matter, and letting a timer run. It is just that easy. And because it is so powerful to track all of your time across all of your tasks, your calendar events, your legal research, your document creation, anything that you do, you can just have a timer out no matter where you are located in your ecosystem, your digital ecosystem in your office, whether you're in Microsoft Word, whether you're in your email, you have that timer up and it's running. It's connected to what you're doing. You're capturing your time. So when it is time for you to run your invoices, you aren't scrambling. You aren't looking for a legal pad where you scratched your time down for the day, right? You aren't referring back to a whiteboard where you've scribbled out some notes, right? These are lovely reminders. They're not great tools for tracking time for me to send an invoice to someone. Entirely inappropriate. When you track your time, it needs to be digital. It needs to be tied to a specific matter. It needs to be connected to your practice management system of record. It needs to be at that point ready for invoicing, right? Now, I'm not saying you should invoice your client every single time you do something billable. That's absolutely ridiculous. But think about every time you bill, every time you complete something, you always need to be able to bill your clients. Right now, today, if I needed to get out of Dodge today for some reason, and I needed to bill all of my work for, the 1st through the 28th of this month, and I'm not going to be here for the next, couple of days in the calendar cycle here. You'll notice that I'm not saying any actual month because I'm a seasoned professional at webinars, and you might be watching this at a later date. So for whatever month you're watching this, right? I'm just here through the 28th. I've had a family emergency. I need to bill right now. I need to feel comfortable knowing that I have captured absolutely everything. If I am trying to manage this on paper, it is impossible to do in any amount of time that's not ludicrous, right? It just eats into your time every time you put something on paper. Now, I love taking notes. I have tons of notebooks. I truly do empathize with you, but digital first. Use the web browser version of Time Matters or TimeSolv, TimeSolv, or use the desktop version of TimeSolv. No matter where you are, it's available to you. It's limitless in how much time you can capture. So use it, use it, use it. All right, let's talk about how you can get closer to zero AR, right? Not only are you capturing all of your time, you're being responsible about what you're putting in your invoices. It's a real depiction of what you have actually done for your clients. You're billing in a timely manner, in a way that is expected. You have a payment methodology on file. They can choose to pay you before that time, or you will bill them automatically. The next thing you need to be aware of is always your administrative processes. This will eat your time and will cause you to lose track of what's billable, and it will cause you to not bill in a way that you're going to be happy with. You're either going to have delays in billing, you're going to have gaps in billing, or you're going to have clients who aren't satisfied. So let's talk about some things. And this is administrative processes is really 3 tips in one. So first and foremost, you need to think about what is blocking you right now, and you need to outsource it. Maybe it's capturing time, maybe it's answering the phone, whatever it happens to be, you need to outsource that as much as possible to someone else or to another service. So if it's answering the phone, you need to hire a virtual assistant. If that is preventing you from actually doing billable work and you're talking to prospective clients all the time, you're never going to have revenue for your firm, right? Let's talk about actually billing. Use the billing team at TimeSolv. Use this team, give us a call, find out the full extent of services that you might be interested in, and use the team to track your billables, to enter costs for you. Use the team to actually do the administrative work in your firm. There's an entire group of people who are available at TimeSolv as a service that you can add on to your subscription. If you hate doing it, if it's taking more time, if it's not worth your time as someone who's managing a law firm, then you need to be considering this as a solution. Document automation. A lot of folks, when I talk to them about TimeSolv, they think only about time and billing. I want to be very clear. TimeSolv offers some really great document automation tools. In fact, in TimeSolv, there are 45 45 fields that you can create documents from. Those are merge fields that you can put anywhere you want to, mix and match in your documents to create what you need. So you need to generate a document really quickly for a specific client. Great. Here are the merge fields to get that done. That's going to range anything from the name of the file, the practice area, who that client is, their billing address. Think of how many documents you're able to create just with some personal identifying information, fee agreement, scope of representation, a variety of things, right? So use those document automation tools. Also, I'd love for you to use the scheduled payments tool. We've talked about this before in this presentation. Manage it. Put it in your fee agreement. This is how we bill. This is when we bill, and then set it up to bill that way within TimeSolv. And then use the built-in reports to see how your firm is doing, see where you're collecting, see how much you have outstanding in accounts receivable, see where you actually are healthy and where you are unhealthy as a firm. How much am I billing? Which practice areas are successful? There are 31 built-in reports to TimeSolv, and you need to take a look at those reports today. This is a much more powerful tool than you probably expected it to be when you signed up for TimeSolv. Finally, let's get to credit cards. Let's finally get to credit cards, right? Credit card payments. With credit cards, it is crucial if you want to get to that 0 AR to get a credit card payment on file before you start your work. You need to always allow for a notification period before you bill, but it is a wonderful way to manage any past due accounts receivable that you have right now. So if you are like most firms, you have over the course of a month, a quarter, a year, several clients who just haven't paid what they agreed to pay. Giving them the ability to pay on a plan with a credit card is much more likely to have you to actually accomplish payment than sending demand letters for the full amount that's due. That's just much more challenging. So reach out to folks, get them on a payment plan, have those credit cards on file. It is the easiest way to manage overdue accounts. And folks, I cannot stress this enough. Please actually send invoices with all of your past due AR notifications. You cannot expect people to pay if they don't have a full accounting of what they're being asked to pay for, right? So with credit cards and with accepting credit card payments, I cannot tell you how imperative it is for you to turn on TimeSolv Pay. It allows you to have a digital payment link on every single invoice you send. It allows you to set up planned billing cycles. It allows you to get that methodology, that payment methodology on file. And what's really fantastic that we just skip over a lot is that it eliminates the need for PCI compliance for you. So if you're not familiar with PCI compliance, it's the rules and regulations around what a law firm or what any organization is required security-wise to maintain in their organization in order to accept credit cards. Those are standards and practices that are absolutely required. If you have credit cards that you're taking over the phone, if you have credit card mail slips that people mail back to you with your credit card information, you have credit card information in your firm right then and there. You have to destroy that. You cannot keep that unless you have elaborate security measures. With things, with specifically TimeSolv Pay, because you are not keeping the credit cards on file, the credit cards on file in your account, but you don't have it in your firm, we completely eliminate the need for PCI compliance with your firm, right? If you take credit cards some other way, then other than TimeSolv, I don't want to talk about that. But if TimeSolv is how you accept credit cards and TimeSolv Pay is the solution you're using, the PCI compliance requirements are satisfied on this side. So you don't need to worry about it. So it's a wonderful way to take payments and to improve security in your firm. All right. Lastly, you want to improve, you want to get paid faster and you want to improve AR. You need to improve your intake process. This is something that gets overlooked a lot. Typically, people say, how do you get to 0 AR? Well, you get payments on file or payment methodology on file, you charge on a regular basis, you accept credit cards. These are the things you do to get to 0 AR. You have detailed invoices, you bill in a timely, regular way. So you have happy clients, you have them, you talk to them on a regular basis, but the piece that gets missed is intake. And folks, it's important to talk about this piece of having a successful business. what you want to do is set up a relationship with your clients early on where they believe you are seeing them and hearing them, and you are working on their behalf, so they will in fact be satisfied when it comes time to pay them, right? You want to capture those leads that come in from your website or come in from any advertised ads that you have online or Google, wherever they happen to be, right? You want to capture those leads. You want to send out a request to get information from that person and to schedule a consultation. And before they have a consultation, you want them to give you payment methodology. You want to have a paying client before they even walk in the door. You get payment methodology on file. From jump, you're going to have a client that pays you on time. Sure, a credit card might be declined. Sure, you might at some point have to go a different route to try to collect something. But in total sum, getting that credit card on file, understanding what it's going to take for your clients to, they know what it's going to take to pay you. This is when I'm going to get my invoice. This is going to be a list of the work that you've done for me. This is when I'm going to get a notification of it. I'm going to have that waiting period between the time you notify me of payment due and the time you actually charge my credit card. You set up those expectations from the very beginning, and you run them consistently. And you do that through an automated process with TimeSolv. And that is how you get paid faster and you get to 0 AR in your law firm. It's all about the bottom line, folks. You can't have a successful law firm if you are not making money, at least if not, unless you're a not-for-profit business, which I don't know a lot of law firms that are nonprofits. So that's it. I really like for these webinars to be short and sweet. If you need anything from me or from the TimeSolv team, please feel free to reach out to us at timesolv.com. You can schedule a demo there. You can get support for your account. We will be happy to walk you through any questions you have on a one-to-one basis. But I do hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day whenever you happen to be watching this, either live or on demand at a later date. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. We do have one question coming in. Oh, thank you so much, Nina. I appreciate it. All right, folks, have a great day.